While the East Coast deals with the winds of winter, more than 100 college seniors dream of spring and the NFL draft. From the StubHub Center in Carson, California, it's the 5th annual NFLPA Collegiate Bowl. Young men looking to impress scouts, looking to impress pro teams, hoping to get a crack at Sunday. And you've heard of some of these names. Trevon Boykin had a stellar career at TCU. It ended on a bit of a down note thanks to an off-the-field issue before his bowl game. Boykin will be the starting quarterback for one of the teams today. There's Antoine Woods, first team All Pac-12 out of USC. And you want another big-name player out there? Reggie Northrup led Florida State in tackles in each of the last 2 seasons. Good evening to those of you on the East Coast. Good afternoon to those of you on the West Coast. Denise Schroff, former first-round pick Anthony Beck, former college head coach Dan Hawkins. Anthony, give me the guy that you were impressed by most in practice, and who's the best pro prospect for you?
Well, on the national team, number 81, wide receiver out of Cal, Bryce Treggs. Great out of his quickness out of his routes, averaged almost 21 yards a catch when he played at Cal. Extremely explosive. He should make big plays on the field today.
Antoine Woods is the highest rated player in this game, the defensive nose guard out of USC. He's a disruptor, 6'1", about 330, can get off the ball. He's a classic one-gap nose guard, really caused the O-line problems this week.
We're about ready for the opening kickoff. Team American is in white. They will receive. Team National in black. Andrew Baggett from Missouri will kick it off. And Team American will run this one out. A couple of nice moves there by Jacoby Green out of Richmond. A 29-yard return, and Team American will have the ball on offense to start.
This is where a lot of these guys got to make their hay. They got to make plays on special teams. You had a couple missed tackles right there. You want to get on a roster, this is probably where a lot of these guys are going to make it on special teams.
Quarterback for Team American, Travis Wilson, essentially a 4-year starter at Utah. Maligned at times by his own fan base, but he's a guy who had to go through 4 offensive coordinators in his 4 seasons.
The thing you got to love about him, he's 6'7", so he's going to be able to see over this offensive line. That's going to be good for these wide receivers coming out for this American team.
Wilson to the air on first down. Slings one over the middle, and that is caught across the 40-yard line. With the reception there, number 82, Joshua Perkins, tight end out of Washington, who impressed in practice.
Yeah, 219 pounds is the one issue that you have, but when you watch him on the field, he can run routes like a receiver, an instant matchup problem against linebackers and strong safeties, and they get the ball immediately over the ball for him with a 10-yard gain and move the chains.
Yeah, the question is, where does he play? Because as you mentioned, he didn't have a lot of lead in his pencil. He's got to be able to get down there and block some people, put on some weight, or get faster and play outside.
There's Jordan Williams out of Ball State, and he is tackled by Dante Dion, corner out of Boise State. A little small, but boy, did this guy have a big, big week of practice.
He really showed out. Now, all week long, he played great coverage, great instincts. In 2 practices, had 2 house calls, catching an interception and taking it to the end zone. He's only 155 pounds, but he plays the game of football in the cornerback position well.
Yeah, the other advantage he has, he's a punt returner, so maybe his, being a great as a punt returner, and then he's a backup corner type guy.
First running play of the game, and sneaking ahead for a first down, Darius Jackson, the running back from Eastern Michigan.
This week's been kind of quiet for the running backs coach. Offensive line trying to find their schemes, how to block guys up. This is where it kind of comes together, and hopefully one of these backs can shine.
Well, you know that if the O-lineman's footwork is off by 3 inches, it messes up the whole play. And trying to get 5 guys on the same page, the running game is not particularly complicated, but getting everybody fitted up so that the back can get a crease is tough in this short amount of time.
Wilson pumps under pressure. He'll tuck it and run. Second leading rusher for the Utes, and he's taken down by Quentin Gause out of Rutgers. Let's head on over to Kevin Weidel, who's from Scout Sync. Kevin, what are you looking for today?
Well, looking on the national side, the defensive side of the football, Akron linebacker Jatavis Brown, not the biggest guy at 5'11", 220 pounds, but when the bullets start flying, this guy shows up. I love his eyes, explosive range, made a ton of plays on Thursday's team practice. Brown, the guy that maybe didn't because of his size, but certainly has a chance to overcome that, guys. I think he can be I'd pound the table from the late round or free agent as a big-time special teams contributor at the next level.
He's the MAC Defensive Player of the Year for Akron. Wilson finding Williams on that drag route. And Williams gets out of bounds after he picks up a first down. Jordan Williams, second team All-Mid-American Conference from Ball State.
Williams is a bigger guy. He comes in and he's a 6'3", 6'4" type player. Not a speed guy, but definitely a very productive receiver, and with a big body, he can get open.
A lot of range with him. Long, high point catches. Yep. Had a really big game against Northwestern earlier in the season. A defense that was very good in the Big Ten.
On the ground. And not much room that time for Jackson. A lot of star power guys on the sidelines. You look at the head coaches for these two teams and their respective staffs. For Team National, Mike Martz. He was the architect behind the greatest show on turf. Won a Super Bowl as the OC for the Rams. Took the Rams to another Super Bowl as the head coach. And then the head coach for Team American, former Super Bowl champion Mike Holmgren.
You're not going to throw Anthony Beck in there. He's actually doing dual duty tight.
He is now crossed over to the dark side.
He'll be running downstairs here after the series to coach guys up. Then he'll be back up.
Wilson dumps it off. Good check down. That's Jackson again. And Darius Jackson, who had a breakout season up in Ypsilanti, picks up 9.
There you see Jatavis Brown getting over there. This guy can really cover ground, number 52. Comes out of Akron, the Zips. Terry Bowden had Takeo spikes. He really thinks this guy's just as good, but not as big. But he's a sub 4.5 runner. You know he's going to play on special teams and maybe a third down sub package type backer.
Timeout. American, the first of the half. It'll be 30 seconds in length.
Team American takes a timeout. There's their head coach, Mike Holmgren. What does it mean, Anthony, you coached in this event, for these players to get coaching?
Hey. That was on me. I didn't know how much. Hey, listen up. Listen up. Listen up. That was on me. I didn't know how much we needed. Okay? Okay. We're just going to go fullback at 0. Where is it? Fullback at 0. We got what formation? Regular. Fullback at 0. Here we go. Yeah.
I want to thank the coaches, by the way. They wore mics all week in practice for us, doing it again today. But, Anthony, what does it mean for these players to get coaching from guys who've had success at the highest level? And then you look at the assistant coaches. There's some Hall of Famers and All-Pros sprinkled in.
Well, they're really dialed into helping these kids grow and develop on the football field. A lot of them Hall of Fame players like Jackie Slater, Andre Reed, that were lower drafted players that worked their way up and understood how to play the game. You heard fullback at 0. It's the 255-pound Treon Durham here trying to get that first down up the middle.
And that is Durham with the call, and he's tackled by Jatavis Brown out of Akron. Dan Hawkins lighting up over there when they give it to the fullback.
Feed the fullback. BYOB. Be your own blocker right down here. You don't get the ball very much, but if it's only a yard, it doesn't matter if nobody's blocked. If you're a fullback, you've got to get that done.
You played fullback, didn't you, Coach?
Full guard.
Little love?
Full guard.
Little love for that position.
Yeah, exactly.
Huh? 0 catches, but a ton of slugger knocker blocks.
Exactly. One of the advantages the quarterbacks have in this game is the defense has to play 3 deep all the time. It's always single high, so you don't have most people playing 2 deep and bringing people down and rotating. You can press, as you're seeing right now, down in the red zone. Gives the offense a little bit of an advantage.
Wilson going for Williams, and it's incomplete. Wilson was 4 for 4 before that throw.
And Wilson, we talked about him being a bigger receiver. Tried to lead him down the sideline in that 20. We talked about red zone. It's 20 yards and in. This is a place where you put the ball up high. He's got a mismatch against a smaller DB who we've talked about from Boise State being 5'9". Give your wide receiver a chance, put it up high, make him jump up and make a nice play.
Yeah, and on the other side, Dante's got to prove that, hey, guess what? Even though I'm only 5'9", I can battle and keep that play from happening down here. Jadon Mickens in the slot down here from Washington, number 81 there, standing at the 20. Been very productive this week as well.
Once again, Jackson on the draw. It'll bring up a 3rd down and about 8.
Mike Holmgren runs the West Coast offense. That system likes to feature tight ends. They got several tight ends on this team. Number 48, Ben Broniker. Also, number 82, we talked about Joshua Perkins. This red zone kind of lights up for guys at the tight end position in this offense.
I mean, how predictable is this? Hawkins falling in love with the fullback. Becht falling in love with the tight ends.
Who's your spot, Nish? Who's your spot?
Wilson under pressure, being chased. And he's got to get rid of it. 4th down coming up. I don't know if I have a guy.
That's where you see Wilson right there scrambling around. We mentioned he's 6'7". You like the escapability and be able to get out. I think this week he wasn't quite as accurate. Maybe you'd like to see at times. But he's being smart right there and getting rid of the football, so you got an opportunity to come out and kick 3 and not take a sack and maybe endanger your field goal chances.
Great closing speed by Jatavius Brown, also linebacker from Akron. Looked like he wasn't going to be close, and all of a sudden he turns on the Jets, and he's right there on Travis Wilson.
36-yard field goal attempt by Zach Maddox
now they
out of Appalachian State.
They can rush up inside here on this field goal, but cannot rush from the outside.
Maddox connects for 3, gives one fan a souvenir. And Team American on the board first, 3-zip. Anthony, I think you brought this up in practice, right? Maddox, if he can stick and maybe have a lengthy career, he's got a nickname built in.
Yeah, Automatics would be the perfect name for him.
In college, they don't have to do it. NFL, it's a fine. So
okay.
You know, like you see these guys here, all their socks are all down.
Okay. The white socks or the orange? What is it?
I don't think it matters. So the skin's covered.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
For those
guys,
of you who just watched Louisville
you're
beat
showing
Georgia
skin.
Tech, you're watching the NFLPA Collegiate Bowl. 100-plus collegiate seniors looking to impress NFL scouts, looking to maybe move up in the draft or be a prospect that's now looked at as somebody who could be taken in the top 7 rounds. Star power on the sidelines. Mike Holmgren coaching Team American. Mike Martz coaching Team National. Team American just scored on a Zach Maddox field goal. He's the kicker from App State. And now it's Team National to receive. And they'll take a knee in the end zone for a touchback. Quint Kesnick is with the head coach of Team American.
Yes, that is Super Bowl winning coach Mike Holmgren. Practice all week. Well, what are the traits that you look for from these guys on game day?
Well, just how they convert what they've done in practice all week to the intensity of a game. If they can still think, if they're calm, while still playing with a great intensity. And so far, it was a good first drive. We scored more points than we did last year.
Who perks your interest?
Well, listen, I'll have a better idea after the game, but I think our defensive nose tackle is a pretty good player. He has a chance. Our defensive line, actually, I'm watching. They should do well.
Anish.
All right, Quint. Quarterback for Team National, Trevon Boykin, second team All-American at TCU. He'll run it on the first play. This is Travis Green, Bowling Green's all-time leading rusher for a dozen. And we have our first penalty flag.
Travis Green, Bowling Green. That guy, he can roll. He can really run. He's an accelerator.
He got a hold against the offense. Meanwhile, Trevon Boykin's a guy, for him, there's a little bit of image rehab involved this week. Remember how his season ended, put together big numbers for TCU, but then was arrested in San Antonio before the Alamo Bowl after a bar fight and could not play in what would have been his last collegiate game.
Bill Polian stated emphatically he ought to go to receiver right now. Quit messing around with quarterback. We'll see how that plays out. Clearly that's what he was before he became a quarterback at TCU.
This is Green once again. And he is engulfed after a gain of 4 on the tackle that time. Toniela Tupou out of Washington.
the biggest thing for Trevon Boykin and really all the quarterbacks, Matt Johnson from Bowling Green also on this national team, is that they've never taken a snap from center. Coming back, dropping back, 5-step drops, 7-step drops, getting their timing, and also reading the field from under center when they're making those drops. All that has to really be put together, and it doesn't take a week to do that, guys. It takes them a full year, maybe a year and a half to really get used to that. So this week's been big for both of these guys.
Yeah, the big thing he needed to work on this week was just separating from the line of scrimmage, you know, in his 5-step drop. Guys are good with a 3-step, but you take in the gun a lot, but not usually a 5-step and a hitch.
Off play action, dangerous throw, late getting there, and it's incomplete. Intended target that time, Dom Williams out of Wazoo.
Gets a little pressure from the backside. I liked how he gets some body lean, steps up in the pocket. We talked about some of these USC players at the defensive line position being really good. Number 93, Greg Townsend, defensive end's one of them. These are some of the things he'll have to deal with, Coach, when he drops back, filtering the pressure and delivering an accurate pass.
Yeah, we know he can get out and run from the pocket. He did that his whole career, and he did it some in practice, but he really needs to show in this game, I'm going to reset my feet and get rid of the football.
Against the 3-man rush, nearly intercepted. It is intercepted off the tip. That's Jimmy Pruitt out of San Jose State, who had 3 picks this past season.
Not necessarily. It was really the tip that caused the interception, and he didn't see the backer coming across. Again, just a little different read progression. When you're taking a 5-step drop and a hitch, you know, and you're trying to throw a slant outside, just didn't see the backer.
Yeah, Eldon Roberts tips it up, makes a nice play, and Pruitt's in the right spot at the right time. See 44 dropping back, reading quarterback's eyes, and just doesn't feel that the linebacker's presence, tips it up in the air. Pruitt does a nice job of just being in the right spot at the right time. And again, for these players, you got to take advantage of your opportunities. Ball skills, that's a big deal when you're talking about cornerbacks. Pruitt shows it right there, locking on that interception.
A formation you almost never see in college. Play action, Wilson rolling to his right, has some room, and scampers out of bounds at the 5-yard line. A gain of 9 by the Utah Ute.
6'7", 233 pounds. And again, he shows the athleticism in the pocket. He's not going to take silly sacks. Get him on that play action. And the best thing about it is his vision over the offensive line. When you're 6'7", not a lot of quarterbacks in the NFL. Brock Osweiler comes to mind for the Broncos. You've seen an early success out of him as he was able to kind of wait behind some of the quarterbacks in front of him. But I think Travis Wilson's had a really nice week.
Yeah, the big key, you know, he can throw on the run.
That's Jacoby Green, and he is brought down by Boomer Mays, who was Northern Illinois' top tackler this past season. Green, the running back, helped lead Richmond to the FCS semifinals, 3rd-team All-American, 1,500-plus yards.
But we're seeing early some nice runs being sparked. Anytime you get an interception and get down in the zone, you got to lean on some of these big backs to get up in the hole.
Well, you got to run the ball typically. Now, I think in this game here, letting the receivers and the quarterback kind of showcase those skills in tight areas is productive for them.
Green broke 1 tackle, and along came a spider. Jacoby Green with the first touchdown of the game, and it's 4-team American.
It's a scoring fest right now.
Well, that's good power through the hole. You're going to meet defenders, and you're going to have to knock them down. And right here, he gets a nice cut up inside. And as a linebacker, number 51, Luke Rhodes, you can't just lay your shoulder into guys. You've got to wrap them up, especially at the next level, Coach.
Yeah, Luke comes out of a William & Mary. And again, these guys didn't take people down. They did have some pretty vivacious 9-on-7 sessions, but not a lot of live tackling, obviously, in practice.
This is now going to be an adjustment for college kickers. The point after try, a little harder in the NFL. Kick is good. It is 10-0 Team American.
Interceptions, quarterback play, all of these things are going to be looked at as the scouts. And if you can make a big play, especially down in the red zone, that's going to light up some of their eyes.
Welcome back to beautiful Southern California, the NFLPA Collegiate Bowl. Team American, coached by Mike Holmgren, with a 10-0 lead. The LA Rams are back in Southern California. Last year at this event, there was a large contingency of Rams fans trying to get in the movement of bringing that football team back to LA. It's a much smaller group this year, Hawkins.
Goal accomplished, so they figure they got it in the bag. But it's awesome. Look at some of those numbers. You got Jack Youngblood, Jackie Slater, Eric Dickerson, Wendell Tyler. That's awesome. Look at him.
Question now is who's joining them in LA.
There's Jack Youngblood. Not really, but he had the jersey.
Von Boykin back to the air. He's got Ricardo Lewis, who's spun, stays in bounds, and gets to the 31. We remember Ricardo Lewis. He caught the prayer at Jordan-Hare for Auburn. Some notable rules in this NFLPA Collegiate Bowl. No linebacker dogs, no safety blitz, no game or stunts with the D-line or linebackers, no motion. You can't go into that 4-5 wide receiver set, which so many college teams use.
Basically, you have no imagination, okay? We just got to line up and play old school ball. Well, it's really to feature the players, and you don't want to confuse them. You're trying to minimize it so people can see their skills.
There's Green from the offset eye. A couple of nice cuts, and he picks up the first down.
It's a nice job by Green. Bowling Green, very quick, shifty back, lighter guy, 210-pound running back, but he had huge production. His teammate, quarterback Matt Johnson, is also here. Nice blocks at the point of attack. You see the tight end, number 86, J.P. Holtz from Pitt, able to block those edges. That's going to be big. Can tight ends block defensive ends? We'll find out in this game.
That power play used to be big about 20 years ago. You see it about 6 times a year now in college football. A little more than that if you're watching Michigan State and Alabama.
Green again, a couple of broken tackles before he's taken down by the D lineman Townsend Jr. That's another gain of 10. Travis Green has shown some bursts early in this game.
His change of direction is excellent. If you watch him, he doesn't have to shuffle. He can stick his foot in the ground and go. And he's got very good vision, being able to cut it back there. But just watch how he's real clean. Bam, right there. Bam. There's no messing around. He's got good vision, and he changes direction immediately.
And not everybody's going to get blocked up at the next level. You got to be able to make people miss, and right there shifts around 2 players on defense.
This is Brandon Wilds, running back out of South Carolina. When he's been healthy, he's been productive, but being healthy has been the problem, Anthony.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's only averaged about 3.5 yards a carry, but he's a player that's strong, wasn't featured heavily in his offensive scheme, and he can come in this week. And again, it's been up and down for all the running backs. It's nice to see some of these offensive linemen putting their face on the fan, per se, getting some blocks and getting some of these guys in the open field to see what we can do.
One of the cool things about this game is you don't have a lot of straight bona fide guys. There's something, maybe they've been dinged up, maybe they're a little small, maybe just their measurables aren't quite right.
Wilds into the secondary. Ball comes out at the end. It's covered up by Team American, but they'll say Wilds was already down.
Contact, first down, national.
Again, we talked about Antoine Woods, nose tackle out of USC, gets blocked up pretty good by the center, Mike Matthews, Bruce Matthews' son. And these running backs right now are getting an opportunity to show their skill.
Woods is very disruptive, right? You see him right there, number 99. He's very disruptive right up the field. But I think one of the things he does have to show is a little bit of escapability and getting off and making plays inside the box, and not plays that aren't just right at him.
Boykin running for his life. Nowhere to go. Finding time now. Boykin gets a block across the 30, and there is the improbability of the All-American from TCU.
And that's great. And if you're sitting in a college football stadium, you're fired up right now. But if you're an NFL guy,
that doesn't happen.
You want to see him reset. First of all, he's not going to last very long. He's going to see the trainer. He's got to reset his feet, find somebody downfield.
And you talked about some of that wide receiver skill set, running back skill set. Those are some dangerous weapons he brings to the table if, in fact, he makes that conversion to another position at the next level.
When they were rotating through with quarterbacks and throwing and catching the other day, he looked pretty nice catching the ball.
After the first down, they give to Ramon Wright, running back out of Stanford. He's taken down at the 20-yard line. Tackle that time by Reggie Gilbert, 6'4", 262-pound end from Arizona.
Taniela Tupou from Washington, number 90, really getting off the ball and disruptive. You saw a couple of pull actions there. That's a scheme you don't always see in college football. A couple guys blocking down, pulling. But Taniela Tupou really was a main key for the Huskies this year in their defense and kind of the team leader. Got a lot of energy. Not the biggest guy, comes in at 288, but a very electric player.
High formation, Green the deep back, behind the fullback, Scove. Boykin will step up. They'll tuck it and run, and he's chased out of bounds by Adro Ederaine.
And he'll have to show Boykin, that he can stand in the pocket. And when there is some pressure, whether it be stepping up or just sliding slightly to the side, keeping his eyes down the field, and really you've got to deliver a pass. Not a lot of quarterbacks doing a lot of running at the next level. We see a few, the Cam Newtons, but they all truly want to be passers first, Coach.
Yeah. Well, if you're 260 pounds, you can run a little bit like Cam and probably survive a little bit. But Boykin's got to prove that he can reset his feet, find people, and throw it.
Number 81 in the slot, wide receiver, Treggs, Bryce Treggs. Very fast, explosive receiver.
And Boykin is dropped. It's a sack for Team American. And that is Dale Pearson, who tied an Iowa State record with 8.5 sacks this past season.
At the end of the first quarter.
1 quarter in the books. Team American leading Team National. Beautiful Marina Del Rey here in Southern California. Started the second quarter at the 5th annual NFLPA Collegiate Bowl. Team American on top 10-0. Team National looking to get on the board to start the second quarter. Andrew Baggett out of Missouri on for a 42-yard field goal attempt.
Boykin took the sack here before we closed for the quarter. And again, those quarterbacks need to learn when you get down to this points of pressure, you got to get rid of the football.
Baggett drills it from 42. Team National is on the board. We've got a microphone on Mike Holmgren. We're going to listen to him live on the other side of the break.
Unless I change my mind, we'll see where we get it.
A complete recap of what happened and who's going to play in the Super Bowl. Jacoby Green out of Richmond, who scored the only touchdown of this game. Darius Jackson out of Eastern Michigan, back deep for Team American. And Green will just take a knee. Let's listen to Mike Holmgren.
Zebra 14.
Zebra! 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 Zebra!
New quarterback into the game for Team American. It's Stephen Rivers out of Northwestern State by way of LSU and Vandy, and he is the younger brother of Phillip Rivers.
Zebras, 3 receivers, 1 tight end. 14 is an inside run to the right.
That's the shortest play call in NFL history, Zebra 14.
Check that left.
He almost didn't get him. He almost didn't get him the ball.
Rivers, another guy, comes in at 6'7", as you mentioned, bounced around a little bit.
33.
He showed up at times. He's got kind of a tight throwing motion a little bit. I think he needs to loosen up and really use his height.
Because he almost didn't get him the ball.
There you see his stats and his numbers. Again, another guy that moves around pretty good. Been in a number of systems.
It's nice when your brother's Phillip Rivers also. That always helps at the quarterback position.
He was in practice the other day. I think that's obviously a lot of pressure when you got big brother staring you down.
And Stephen Rivers is sacked. That's Kyle Cragen out of Cal. Hawk, you were a big fan of this guy during the past week.
Really did a nice job. Big motor. I don't think he's a 5 technique, 6 technique in a 4-3 scheme, but I think he can be an outside backer in a 3-4 look. He doesn't have quite the kind of girth you want, but really a great motor, slippery, got a lot of energy, can gain a lot of ground.
He plays with good technique and leverage, and he's just a smarter player than a lot of the offensive linemen. Really dominated, like you talked about, with his hustle and playmaking ability on every single rep. That's something he's going to have to show. He's going to have to be an overachiever in the league.
Another guy, his dad, longtime NFL player, so obviously he getting a few tips at home as well.
Rivers, and that throw for Green is dropped. So 4th down coming up now for Team American. And the Australian, Lachlan Edwards from Sam Houston State will punt.
A lot of these Australians coming over and playing in American football. Of course, they play Aussie rules over there. These guys can usually kick it with both feet. I really love it when they get down again, a red zone punt. They're able to drop that nose and get it and lay that ball inside the 5. They've been a real talent and a threat over here in the States.
Dante Dion back deep for Team National. Dion retreats to the 36. He's out of Boise State and scampers out of bounds, a 49-yard punt. Team National football when we come back. Notable NFLPA Collegiate Bowl alumni. How about Kelvin Beachum, offensive tackle for the Pittsburgh Steelers, played in this game in 2012. Luke Wilson, a tight end for the Seattle Seahawks. Can't forget about Duron Harmon for the New England Patriots. New England at Denver tomorrow. Avery Williamson, Titans linebacker. Matt Paradis for the Denver Broncos. They'll be playing in a conference championship. And we saw Chris Conley in this game just a season ago. New quarterback for Team National. It's the standout from Bowling Green, Matt Johnson. And on 1st down, he hands it off to his collegiate teammate Travis Green, who lost a yard. This is the 5th year of the NFLPA Collegiate Bowl. Last year, of the 113 players who took part, 10 drafted, another 70 were able to latch onto a team as an undrafted free agent. What does that tell you?
Well, there's a lot of all-star games out there. I think this one should be one of the premier games. This is a great destination for a game. Got a lot of players. There were a ton of scouts. We had a ton of GMs at practice this week. Saw John Elway, Reggie McKenzie, the Raiders. So, again, a lot of opportunities for these kids to shine, and it's really a well-done, well-set-up game by the NFLPA.
Dan Hawkins lighting up again. They feed the fullback, Patrick Scove, the Stanford transfer who finished up at Georgia Tech.
Good hands. I think that was a little bit of a miscue because we had 2 running backs over there with their hands up. Scove ended up being the guy getting it.
Johnson's a guy who played in a high-flying, wide-open system last year with Dino Babers. Did play under Dave Clawson where he was under center, but he'll have to make a bit of a transition.
Well, it is a transition for him. I mean, we can sit here and say he's done it before, but when you talk about a whole year not doing it and the system that he played, getting the ball out of his hands quickly, he's 5'11", so he's got to demonstrate that he can get back, like you talk about, coach number 1, and see the defense, see what they're giving him, and deliver the ball on time to his wide receivers.
Yeah, he, in the red area the other day in practice, he made a couple of good throws. He struggled at times a little bit too, so he's going to have to really work at finding his windows to throw through.
I think Thursday was his best day too. Mike Martz was really saying how well he had grown, and really of all the quarterbacks from day one, like you talked about, being that it was hard for him to kind of jump up. It looks like Mike Martz is going to take a chance once to get this offense fired up a little bit after winning this game last year.
4th and 1, Team National will go for it. Pitches to Wilds, who gets the 1st down and more. Brandon Wilds still on his feet, finally brought down at the 32-yard line by Sherrod Niesman from FAU, a gain of 18.
That's why it was the greatest show on turf. You're thinking going to run power right there, and he runs power flip.
Yeah,
Good,
and this is a play for the running back, one-on-one in space, coach, to beat the defender. And right here, he outruns the defensive end.
Yeah, good speed.
Let's check in with Kevin Weidel.
Yeah, Brandon Wild's very intriguing prospect, guys. 6'5", 215 pounds. Brings a lot of versatility in the passing game. He's got big-time speed for a bigger back. You saw it there to turn the corner there. Guys, he's got a build and a running style and that versatility in the passing game that resembles a lot like Matt Forte, the running back of the Chicago Bears. Now, the durability is certainly going to be an issue, but this guy has a chance, I think, if someone takes a flyer on him in late rounds, to hit on a running back. You see a lot of those in these past few years.
If he can stay healthy, that's the question mark. By the way, nice play by Prince Charles Awara in open space to make that tackle.
There's another guy. He's a 4.3 runner and did a good job at Western Kentucky. He's obviously going to be a high pick because when he goes and runs for people, he's going to have eye-popping numbers when he comes to the 40 time.
Johnson's going to take a shot downfield. And that was, again, Awara on the coverage.
And Awara is a rock. I mean, this kid is built. You look at you can't see his arms under his shirt, but all week just really cut up. And the best thing about his coverage right there is just find the football. Get your head around. You see corners across really the entire NFL that lack the skill of getting their head around once they're in position to make a play on a football. And right here does a nice job, stays ahead of the receiver, and is in control of this positional play here.
Yeah, Thomas did a pretty good job there keeping that ball. It's all about getting the ball back. It's not celebrating a knockdown. It's about getting the ball back. So those ball skills on the defensive end are critical.
American team had Darrell Green, the Hall of Famer, working with the DBs in practice this week as the third down pass falls incomplete, so fourth down.
Got a little pressure. I think his elbow got popped a little bit. That one come out a little bit wobbly.
Andrew Baggett will come on for a long field goal for Team National. Connected once from 42.
I know Coach Marks is going to tell Treggs, finish the route. Got to keep running in this system, Coach. You never stop. You've got to keep going, and the quarterback can hit any target at any time.
This is a 50-yarder, so a chance for Baggett to show some scouts a little something. With room to spare. Andrew Baggett has hit a couple of long field goals. That's the scoring for Team National.
Honestly, my job now is to protect you guys from ever going out there and not just making any decision, but bad decisions. You know, bad decisions is, dime a dozen. You see guys making them. And as much as we all are in here a team, when you're going to make a team, whether you get drafted second round, fifth round, or undrafted, when you get cut, you get a black garbage bag and you out of the door and you on the street. It's a cold-hearted business out there, so you got to understand, this is the family and this is the NFLPA. We're here to protect all that.
Ray Rice, the running back coach for Team National, was here all week working with the players. Of course, he has not played in the NFL since that domestic violence incident a little less than 2 years ago. Kobe Green will run this out. And he's taken down at the 23-yard line. Down to Quint, who is with Ray Rice.
Ray, we heard a portion of your speech talking to these young players. What'd you emphasize?
I emphasize the importance of, that zero tolerance domestic violence and how, as a man, it's just something that, it's not allowed. It's not allowed, it shouldn't be allowed in our society. And the importance of decision making. I always preach 1 or 2 bad decisions, that dream can become a nightmare. And I want the kids to understand the importance of decision making. And they've been very well receptive of everything. And obviously, between everything else, they get to have some fun today.
What impact has being at this event and coaching these young men and being back in football had on you?
Honestly, you know what? I'll tell the kids, they had an impact on me. They actually helped me out more than I can really think of. They helped me. I'm glad I was able to help them. But the impact, I think we've all helped each other, and I think that's what the game of football has allowed me to do for my entire life. You put different groups of people in situations and circumstances, and we kind of talk things out, and eventually try to become better people from everything.
Earlier this week, we had a nice talk about second chances. But now, as you celebrate your 29th birthday yesterday, happy birthday, by the way, why do you feel that you still can be an effective running back in the NFL?
I haven't been hit in 2 years. There's no mileage, there's no injuries, and obviously I know I still can play, and I know the game of football now. I'm actually, I'm becoming a better teacher and a better student, but I'm still have that eagerness to learn and have fun with the young guys. It's like the older you get, the younger you feel, I say, so I can still go out there and do it.
Thanks, Ray. I think you were really just watching your work the last couple of days. I think you've been real positive for these young players. Anish.
This was a step in the right direction for Ray Rice this week to rehabilitate his image a little bit. Do you think it gets him a second chance in the NFL?
Well, I'm not sure if he'll ever play again and get that chance, but I think the one thing that I didn't hear from him this entire week outside of that interview was coming back and playing. I think the biggest thing is rebuilding himself as a man, as a person off the field, and it's going to take some time. We're not just going to forget what happened. People are not going to forget that. And even if he does rehab himself and when he comes back, the number one thing that's going to be talked about is that decision that he made a few years ago. So again, for him, it's about becoming a better man, and I'm glad I heard a lot of the rebuilding things and not the football stuff this week.
Yeah, Bill Polian was here this week and talked about the second chance, and hey, what he did was terrible, and he needs to become a spokesman for a lot of people out there to improve that and take a stand against it. And we'll see it goes. Obviously the age is going to be a factor, and he's obviously not the biggest guy either, so he's got a few things he's going to have to work on.
Steven Rivers with a strike that time to Jadon Mickens out of Washington. Mickens really had a nice week of practice.
Another guy really electric with the ball in his hands. Now, one of the things that helps the quarterback is they're always single high, meaning one free safety. So there's been a lot of seam routes going down the field for both these fields because there's never two safeties. You see right here, throwing it up, the numbers there, a lot of space, a lot of confidence in the coverage that throw is going to be there.
And you need time to throw the football. Keep your eye on right tackle, number 77 from San Diego State, Darrell Green, a guard. I think he's a big, thick guy, comes from an offense at San Diego State where they run a power system, so he's used to stepping up and getting into some of these defensive linemen. Could be a nice transition for him.
This time on the ground, one tackle shed in the backfield, and then just diving forward is Jarrell Presley out of New Mexico. A loss of a yard for a guy who averaged 9.5 yards per carry this past season.
Regular 54. Regular 54.
Regular meaning tight end, two backs, 21 personnel. That's regular. In college football, that's irregular.
Well, Coach, when they said 14 earlier, there is a play 14, but it's play 14 on the play sheet.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's why. So there is no 54. I'm going to get that play sheet at halftime for sure.
Play action. Rivers in trouble, and he'll float it out of bounds as Vontarius Dora was breathing down his neck.
Zebra. Zebra 40. Zebra 40.
Translate that for us.
3rd and 11, Coach. Can you translate that call for us?
Yeah, we got a crosser from this side. I hope they're in man-to-man. And our crosser from this side maybe can come underneath all this stuff and pop on the other side.
So he's got to catch it. He'll catch it short of the first down.
Oh yeah, you got to make the first down running.
Jadon Mickens, 81, with the Washington helmet, potentially on a shallow cross.
Well, there it is, Quint. It is Mickens on that cross, and he gets across the 30-yard line.
Drawn up to perfection.
Regular 49.
And with that coverage, that zone coverage, They pull the receiver. Devin Fuller from UCLA does a nice job getting his corner out of there. And just too much speed for Mickens coming across. Those linebackers just don't feel it. Even when they think they're in the spot, you see the explosiveness catching the ball.
Fake to the fullback. And then they'll throw it to the fullback, Durham. Who's tackled inside the 20-yard line by Jeremiah Coase from Montana.
Checkdowns are great, and managing the field position here in the red area is critical for the quarterback. Cannot take sacks.
Zebra.
Cannot turn it over.
17. Zebra 17. Hurry up.
2nd and 1. Tempted to take a shot here, Coach, with a free down into the end zone?
No.
Get the first down and move on?
Yes, try.
What'd you dial up?
We got to draw here.
Got to draw.
Quinn trying to be a play caller over here. Come on, Quinn.
He wants to see points in this game. He didn't see much of it on Holmgren's team last year.
This is a run call. Presley. A little shake and bake. He picks up a first down at the 15.
Where's the ball? Where is the ball?
Jarrell Presley out of New Mexico. Almost 1,100 yards on only 114 carries.
As you mentioned,
32.
You know,
Here we go.
This guy comes out of the option offense, and he would pop and take it to the house, and comes from New Jersey. Probably should have just creased it right up there, particularly knowing down and distance there. But very electric now. They're not a true triple option. They come out of the gun. So a lot of the plays that you normally would see, one back power, zone plays, he's run those and has the vision.
There's Durham again, the fullback, inside the 10-yard line. Let's go back down to Quint with Mike Holmgren.
So penalty against the offense, going to be a hold.
That's inexcusable down here. Now, one of the things that happens, he's given the personnel, but then he yells a number, and that's just off the play card. So,
regular 16.
That's exactly regular. Hawk, that's exactly right. Quarterbacks have their wristbands. What's 16, Coach?
So sweep this way.
Sweep to the far side of the field, towards us.
Quint, do you like that call? That fit in with your play sheet, or?
You got to take a shot there, 2nd and 1. Come on, Hawk.
And Clay DeBoard, the left tackle, is going to have to hook up into the end here.
Presley on that left sweep. And a nice run there by Jarrell Presley, 5'10", 203 from New Mexico.
That's your Green Bay sweep, boy. That goes all the way back West Coast. The old Bob play. Roger Craig made a living off of that.
Come on.
Roger Craig, Dorsey Levens, there were a few guys.
Oh, the Bob. What a great football play.
These offensive linemen have been coached up with probably a future Hall of Famer, in my opinion, Steve Hutchinson. Played a long time in the NFL. Pro Bowl, there he is. That's his back to us.
Mike Holmgren uses his second timeout. Team American threatening.
Hold it. Here's my thing. I was going to call Hank, but we're done.
In Carson, California. 2nd down and 8 coming up.
Okay, we're going drag slant, or drag wheel right there on both sides. Off the drag slant. Get man coverage. There it is.
And that is drawn up to perfection. Touchdown, Team American. Jadon Mickens.
He's the guy right now. He's been the target for the quarterbacks. And we were going to mention him early in this game, but I think a lot of us saw him this week in practice and thought he could be the most dynamic and explosive receiver on the football field.
Good with the ball in his hands. Also another guy that can play special teams as a returner. He was a block guy in many cases for the Huskies up front, but he's done a nice job with the ball in his hands this week.
I've noticed now on both touchdowns, as the teams get ready to set up for the point after, the college players programmed to go to the 2 to 3 yard line.
Get back.
A little different now in the NFL with the rule change.
Jadon was programmed to get into his pro dance, though. He had worked on that celebration. You could tell. Can't get that done in college.
Well, if you're going to be a wide receiver in the NFL, Hawk, I mean, you've got to choreograph that. You need to have a routine and a gimmick.
Sure, you're branding. You got to brand yourself.
And that separation he got from the defender, even though there was a little bit of a pick and someone that the corner had to deal with, easy throw and catch.
Down to Quint.
Good call, Coach. J-Don celebrating. Good call, Coach, he says. He says, good call. Why was that a good call?
Because, you know, we had man-to-man. We had to make sure we settled with our eyes going to the flat, wheel it up. My slant did a good job by that guy pushing up and him getting a ricochet so I can be wide open. And it was a great throw by the QB.
I had your Boise game early this year. You blocked a kick. You're always playing with a smile. Seems like you love this game.
Oh, I love it more than anything, you know. Even if we didn't get paid for it, I still play football because it's more of a team sport than anything. If I was out there by myself catching touchdowns, it wouldn't be fun. But with these dudes competing for a whole week straight and we got the love of the team chemistry, it's even more fun, man.
You can feel Anish.
You know what? If the football thing doesn't work out, he may have a future being one of us talking heads.
He's going to be the hype man. You know, get on the sidelines, hype it up the game. He's excited. I love it. I love the intensity. Means something to these kids.
There's Mike Thomas. Thomas accelerates across the 30 and finally taken down at the 37. Big Monday, we've got ACC and Big 12. Duke snapped a 3-game losing streak with a win against NC State today. They'll go down to Coral Gables to take on Miami. Then at 9, Kansas visiting Iowa State. Remember on Monday over in Ames, the Cyclones knocked off then #1 Oklahoma. The Sooners still #1. That will probably change come Monday, however.
2:24, can't go no huddle till you get inside 2 minutes.
Matt Johnson, quarterback for Bowling Green. His pass tipped by Reggie Northrup out of Florida State.
Reggie's done a nice job. You've seen him make plays, gain a lot of ground. Look at right there. He's 20 yards downfield. This guy's going to help somebody out.
Northrup led Florida State in tackles the last 2 seasons. Kevin, what kind of prospect is he?
Well, I think he's a pretty good one, guys. He's had a heck of a game so far. You talk about special teams, tackle on kickoff. I've been really impressed with his eyes, his recognition. They ran a draw earlier, reacted quickly. I think he's got a lot of range. A special teams, kind of like Jatavis Brown on the other side. Those 2 linebackers, to me, Northup and Brown, have really stood out so far in this game.
Caught on the far sideline, and that is Ricardo Lewis from Auburn. It's a gain of 13 yards. Lewis was the team's top receiver this year, and remember, Auburn didn't exactly get the best quarterback play.
And you know, traditionally, he's been an inside threat, and he had to get moved out because of some departures of players, and he became the big-time target on the outside for Auburn this season.
Also another guy that's a return threat. It helps now. Matt did a nice job throwing that in the comeback there the last time, but he knows he's getting 3 deep all the time, so he can have a little more comfort with that.
Over the middle, incomplete, knocked away by Mike Hilton, all-SEC defensive back from Ole Miss.
2-minute warning. Timeout.
2-minute warning. Team National with the football, down 17-6.
I just didn't know.
We're at the StubHub Center for the NFLPA Collegiate Bowl here in Carson, California. Team National trailing, but it's 2nd and 10 from midfield. Bowling Green's Matt Johnson under center at quarterback. Johnson under pressure, and he's going to be sacked.
Can't do it. Again, 2-minute drill, 2nd down. Got to get rid of the football. Time is of the essence. Field position is the essence.
Farrington Huguenin out of Kentucky.
Yeah, Huguenin on the end right here. He's just going to come outside the tackle. Tackle's got to get his hands up and punch. You got to be aggressive at the next level. You can't play patty cake with the defensive end. You got to be firm and aggressive. And he had the tight end down the seam. Would have been a great open for me, Anish, to say something about a tight end.
There you go. I was waiting for it. It'd been about 5 minutes. That's a first down. Did he hold on to it inside the 40? I think he did. Looks like they're going to say catch.
Thought he dropped it. Got a late hit on Matt. He's feeling the effects of that.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. Defense number 95, driving the quarterback into the ground. A 15-yard penalty will be added at the end of the play. First down.
Dale Pearson, who has a sack in this game, flagged.
Yeah, Pearson's got to understand when that ball comes out, you got to put your head up and see what's going on. And when you drive guys in the ground, they're going to call flags. You saw it in a Bengals game, playoff game, not too long ago. They're going to throw a lot of flags.
That was a catch, by the way. Devin Price out of Ohio Northern, a Division III school. Their nickname, the Polar Bears.
Do scouts have check boxes for catching the ball at your knees? Because that's what he did on this one.
That was impressive. Great concentration. Way to stay with it.
The ruling is an incomplete pass. Therefore, the penalty will be enforced from the previous spot with an automatic first down.
Still a first down either way. Still a first down either way. Oh, well, that looked like a catch.
Yeah.
That looked like a catch. Although in the NFL these days, we're not quite sure what a catch is.
Do they give him the red flags or what? Do we have any of those in this game? Might as well get used to it with the...
You heard somebody yelling
that
it was
is a
ruled
catch.
Complete. Yeah, no, that is a catch. That ball never hits the ground.
Should we just yell it to him from the booth right here?
We'll be the replay booth.
It's going to be a first down anyway with the penalty.
Yeah, but still, what a spectacular. Good job getting his hand underneath the tip of the ball. Great concentration.
By rule, there's no review in this game. Therefore, the ruling on the field stands. First down.
Yeah.
I'm giving him the catch signal from the booth. He's ignoring me, though.
We have replay up here.
Let's go to the booth. Yeah, we've got polar bears in this game. We've got camels.
Well,
mascots, right?
Kangaroos.
We've got the kangaroos.
Matt Johnson under pressure. That is incomplete. That bounced before Kanan Severin could haul it in. Severin out of Virginia.
Number 19 is in the area. Second down.
Yeah, Huguenin is giving Torm White, the right tackle, some problems here. And again, you got to be able to set and punch. And in the next level, if you're not going to put your hands on the defender,
Huguenin's doing a great job getting that outside handoff. Now, Matt Johnson, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. He's going to start feeling that, get the ball out a little early here because he knows struggling a little bit on that right edge.
Huguenin gets a breather. He's a guy, by the way, who played the last couple of years behind Bud Dupree and Zadarius Smith, both in the NFL. Johnson escaping the pursuit, throws on the run, and that is a catch. Well, they say incomplete. Severin, I guess, didn't stay in bounds. 2 feet, right? 2 feet.
2 feet at the next level. You're right. A lot of these kids. Another thing that's big is when receivers go down not being touched, you have to stay up.
We saw that in practice. Had a catch
Get a
on
good
the ground.
extra that can run a shake.
Right. Good one.
3rd and 10 now from the 24-yard line. Less than a minute to go in this first half. Team National with all 3 timeouts. Down to Quint.
Coach, what are your options right here? 3rd and 10.
Oh, we're going to throw a touchdown. That's the option. That's what we want to do, right? If we can get man-to-man, this is great. If we get zone, it's not so good. Under. Come on, kid. Come on, kid.
It's good coverage deep.
We got one.
There is a flag.
Got a holding coming in late. Inside with the offensive line. Always make it tough when that quarterback changes his launch point. And those defensive linemen are to escape and they get held by the O-line.
Holding. Offense, number 56. That penalties decline. 4th down.
That's Mike Matthews, center out of Texas A&M, and he's the son of Hall of Famer Bruce Matthews and the brother of Jake Matthews, the number 6 overall pick in the draft in 2014.
Yeah, he's playing right in the middle there, number 56, and right there you see some jersey getting pulled on the defender, and he's going to get called for that. These loose jerseys these guys get on, it was easy for the referees to see.
Well, this has turned into a showcase for Missouri's Andrew Baggett. He's connected from 42 and 50. This is another one from 42. And Baggett is 3 for 3.
And this is a great scenario. I mean, for the kicker, it's great. For the team, they want to score touchdowns. But in a showcase game, Baggett's saying, yeah, he's pumping all the way across to the sidelines when he gets 3 opportunities in the first half.
All from 40 plus, too.
Kevin Weidel did not pick him as his MVP. I promise you that. That was not Kevin's MVP.
You know, Hawk, you spent a lot of time in practice this week with the special teams and the special teams coaches.
Well, it's such a big part of the game, and it's funny because a lot of times when you're starters, and Anthony talked about this at the desk, when you're a starter in college, you don't play special teams that much. It's not emphasized. Now all of a sudden you get in the league, it's a big part of it, particularly if you're not a primetime guy, and that's how you make it. And little things mean a lot. And special teams are so big, and you watch these playoff games that happen tomorrow, I guarantee it'll be a special teams issue that decides both those games.
Outside of the quarterbacks and the defensive and offensive linemen, all these guys are going to be on special teams if they make it at the next level.
Yeah.
Our resident scout, Kevin Weidel, after this kick, will give you his players whose stocks have risen through the course of this week. Kobe Green out of Richmond from the 2. Has the 20. And tripped up as he crosses the 25. Kevin, whose stock is up?
Yeah, I think it starts top 5. USC defensive tackle Antoine Woods. We've talked about him a lot. Been the best ranked player coming in and shown why throughout the week. Very consistent, the hands, the power, disruptive one gap. You go to Boise State corner, Dante Deon. I know Anthony talked about him early on. Big time playmaker, has found the football and finished. That's such an underrated trait for defensive backs. We've talked about Jatavis Brown, the explosiveness, the range. The Auburn wide receiver, Cardo Lewis, very intriguing. Height, weight, speed guy. Didn't run a ton of routes. Needs to continue to develop that route running at Auburn, but he's a guy I've been impressed with his routes this week. I think he's improved, caught the ball well, has a chance to really, I think, be taken in the late rounds.
Play action, Stephen Rivers chased, finds Max McCaffrey in the flat, who's tackled by Boise State's Dante Deon. Max McCaffrey, son of Ed McCaffrey, had a pretty good career at Duke.
Does all the things right. He made every catch thrown to him, gets open. Will he have enough speed? I'm sure his dad faced these questions. I don't think Christian faced these questions. I think Christian's the faster in this group, but he does everything you want. He can get open, he can shake guys, he runs great routes, and he catches everything.
Now Stephen Rivers might be able to show off his arm here, or not. He's going to be sacked inside the 35-yard line, a loss of 5, and that will take us to halftime. Down to Quint.
Hanging around there, Coach. Your field goal kicker's your MVP. What's your one point of focus with the guys, regardless of position?
We're doing fine. Defensively, just hang in there, slug it out with them and stop them. But quarterbacks, we've missed some throws or some reads that we shouldn't miss, and we'll clean that up for the second half. But we'll keep rotating those guys through, see what they can do.
Yeah, how can you slow it down for them?
I don't want to slow it down.
I mean, the processing. I mean, it seems like they're not seeing it as fast as you'd like them to.
They just get locked on to guys. They're excited. So I think we calm them down at halftime. They come back out, and there's nothing hard about it. They get a little excited. That's all.
Excellent. Thank you, Coach.
Your score at the half: the American team 17, the national team 9. Yes, the Rams are back in Los Angeles as well. We're going to come back from some of the best sideline sounds of the first half. Beautiful Southern California, Carson, the site of the NFLPA Collegiate Bowl. We're at the StubHub Center, and at halftime, your score: Team American leading Team National 17-9. More than 100 draft prospects looking to impress upon NFL scouts and personnel types. Welcome back at Eastroff. Anthony Beck, Dan Hawkins. Guys, we saw the first half of play. Who flashed?
Well, I think, quarterbacks for Mike Holmgren's team, the American team has played well. You know, Steven Rivers, Travis Wilson, these guys have stepped in. They've run a smooth offense. They've gotten some nice plays down the field, and Travis Wilson's really done both things. You see his mobility, 6'7". His speed is deceiving. He's able to get out of the pocket on some plays outside, and then just delivering clean passes. Give your guys chances to catch the ball and let them go run in space and make plays. That's really what the NFL is at the next level.
Outside of Andrew Baggett, I guess you're talking about, the leading scorer in the game, Reggie Northrup, the linebacker for Florida State here, doing a nice job both making plays, tackles, making plays back in the back end against the pass. Had a special teams breakup as well. Here you see him gaining a lot of ground, batting the ball away. Been very active for the team today.
Now those two have certainly stood out. We're getting ready for the start of half number 2. We'll get to see a couple of quarterbacks in Ammon Olsen and Josh Woodrum, who we did not see in the first half.
Be fun to see these guys, both of them come in here. I liked them, both of them, during the week. Ammon Olsen from Southern Utah has got a lot of tools, as does Josh there.
Let's check in with Kevin Weidel down on the sideline.
Yeah, guys, I've been impressed with Jadon Mickens, the Washington wide receiver. 5'10", 174 pounds, not the biggest, but he's had a good week, and he's having a strong finish here in the game with the first half. Just a good feel for routes, the separation quickness, that ability to set up defenders, get out of his breaks, and then I like what he brings after the catch. You see him very elusive, the open field vision, the ability to make defenders miss in the tight quarters. Maybe not the biggest, but he's going to bring some value as in the return game as well. I think Jadon Mickens has really helped himself this week.
Well, he's got the touchdown celebration dance down pat. That'll go a long way on Sundays. Mickens with 1 touchdown for Team American. Jacoby Green of Richmond had a rushing touchdown for the other TD. Team National scoring, all coming courtesy of the leg of kicker Andrew Baggett, the Missouri kicker, with 3 field goals. Down to Quinn Kesnick now.
Travis Wilson saw some action in that first half. Travis, what's it like to come out here as a member of this game and compete?
It's a great experience, and really thankful just to be part of this game. And our offense has been doing really great lately, and we've been driving down the field, so couldn't be more happy.
How would you best describe your performance?
I'm good. Definitely started off good, made some good throws, and just want to keep that going in the second half.
What's the biggest challenge you face as a quarterback?
Definitely, I mean, just kind of we can't really beat ourselves, and we got to just make sure we're executing our plays and just keep on getting first downs.
Thanks, Travis. May see more time later in this ball game, Anish.
All right, thank you, Quint. For quarterbacks in this game, how much is what happens today a result of just building chemistry with the guys, creating a rapport with the rest of your teammates, even though it's such a short week?
Well, I think along with some of the tangible things, throwing the ball and being a guy that can make plays in practice as well as this game is, are they leaders? Do guys gravitate to them in the huddle? And scouts will watch that as they go on 7-on-7 during the week and team period. You know, if he's talking to the receivers, working some things, trying to get on the same page, being it's a short week.
Bryce Treggs out of Cal on the kick return. Treggs takes it to the 27-yard line, and that's where Team National will start on offense to begin the second half.
Looks like we're going to get Ammon Olsen, the quarterback from Southern Utah. Gary Croton, coach in the NFL, coach at BYU, longtime passing game guru. He really loves this guy. Thinks he's got a strong arm, quick release. I liked what he did this week. It'll be interesting to see again how he shows up here. Like AB was talking about how he handles things. If they're smart, they find one guy they can trust to go to and work that guy.
I give it to Travis Green, rusher out of Bowling Green, and Green, the Falcons' all-time leading rusher, gets 2.
Yeah, there's Taniela Tupou again, number 90 for the Huskies in the gold helmet inside. He's made a lot of plays. This guy's pretty active. Only kind of comes in about 288, but really explosive player.
The one thing I watched about Ammon Olsen this week is Coach March kept saying to me, he's just got to let it go. I think he was worried about throwing interceptions in practice, not being on the same page. He's got to utilize and show us that strong arm when they try to go down the field with some of these receivers.
Yeah, in the red zone area he was talking about, don't be scared, don't be scared.
Play action. Olsen on the run, throws, open receiver, and it's Treggs out of Cal picking up the first down.
Treggs for this team, and Jaden Mickens for the other team. Two very, really similar players. Inside slot guys, fast, explosive, good route runners, and they can make yards after the catch. Both of these kids, especially at 21 yards, you see that average by Treggs is impressive. So two players in the Pac-12 that know how to get the ball and get down the field.
And that is dropped by Alonzo Russell, a four-time all-conference selection in the MAC. He's out of Toledo.
We had Toledo this year a couple times. Alonzo, really tall, lean receiver, missed a little bit of time through injuries, and he actually had to go out because of a targeting call for half of the bowl game. But a big, tall target and a receiver that can go up and get the ball with his hands.
You know, Coach, another thing I'm looking for with these quarterbacks is ball placement. Right now, you see a nice spin, nice velocity coming out of Ammon Olsen's passes early in this game, but right on target to his receivers.
Green gets the call, makes one cut, has midfield, and pushes into Team American territory, a gain of 8. We check in again with Quint Kesnick.
Hall of Famer Darrell Green has been coaching the secondary this week. You got a 3rd and 1 here, Coach. What's the mindset of the corners and the safeties right here?
Well, right now we know in the last time we had 3rd and 1, they did this misdirection play, pitch out.
Nickel, they changed their personnel.
Switch it over.
Linebacker in. You see how active he is. So you learned something in the first half in this situation?
Yeah, it really wasn't really about the corners. It really was about the defensive end. And the defense we were in, it was going to be tough to stop that play. It's going to be depending on what we call.
This is Ramon Wright out of Stanford moving the pile. And he's to the 36-yard line, a gain of 10. Strong run by the 5'9", 205-pound back from Palo Alto.
Yeah, nice blocking on the inside by the interior offensive line. Kyle Friend, a late signee for this unit here, came in 2 days in and playing center, does a nice job of blocking, very strong at the point of attack. 225 pounds, he benches at 46 times.
Come on, guys, let's go.
Darrell Green put on a money DB clinic out here the other day. If you haven't seen it, go Google it on YouTube and check that thing out. It's impressive.
Wright is tripped up right at the line of scrimmage. Nice job up front. It was Pearson leading the charge. Quint again with Darrell.
31, and White has made some pops this week, Coach. What are your impressions of him?
That's a young man from Arizona, Will Parks.
Yeah.
Will Parks, he's definitely one of our top guys. He should be a draftable guy. He showed himself from day one all the way through. So we wanted to start him because what he did out on the field all week, and you can see he's still doing it.
You have emphasized teaching and practice. What are you learning this afternoon?
You know what I'm finding out about these guys? That they're gamers. They need to understand how to practice now. I thought that they're better today than they were, in my opinion, through the week. Even though there's a lot of pressure through the week with teaching stuff, there's a lot of pressure. They seem to be relaxed and starting to really put it into practice. I'm very proud of what I'm seeing so far.
Thank you, Darrell.
3rd down, Team American back in its nickel package as Mackinton Dorleon checks in.
Yeah, and you know, talking to Darrell Green throughout the week, I kept asking him who sticks out, and he really couldn't dial in with anybody. And that's the thing about this week, Coach. The practices are almost like games too, because all the scouts are here in-house, GMs. A few have stayed, but a lot have taken their notes already.
Olsen's pass behind Sandlin.
AB, just talk about that. Being a professional, showing up every day, and all the things it takes. It's great to be good on game day, but all the other stuff, just talk about that.
Well, you know, here's the thing. When you're playing at the next level and you get your chance, that doesn't mean you're done and you've made it. The work starts on Monday mornings, Tuesdays. You normally get off on Tuesdays. The guys that want to get better and play better, they come into work on Tuesdays. It's a 7 days a week job. That's what all these young guys got to understand and figure out. And once they do that and they learn from a veteran, the biggest thing I could tell them is keep your mouth shut and your ears open. The more of that you do, the better their careers will be because of the knowledge that they're going to get from some of the veteran players and coaches. Delay of game against Team National, so
will move back 5 yards, and now a 54-yarder coming for Andrew Baggett, who was already hit from 42 twice and 50 once.
I think I saw him arm pumping on that penalty because he gets some extra yards to prove himself here.
He's had himself a nice day. Can Baggett knock home his 4th field goal of the day? We'll find out after the break. Kirk Cousins watching and tweeting, and yes, it is an impressive list of coaches. That's Nolan Cromwell, former All-American quarterback at Kansas, a terrific DB for the Rams in the NFL for years, also an outstanding special teams player. Mike Martz, the head coach for Team National, great offensive coordinator. Mike Holmgren, of course, won a Super Bowl with the Packers, took 2 other teams to a Super Bowl as a head coach. Darrell Green, 20 years in the league, a Hall of Famer himself. And then you've also got Andre Reed, played 15 seasons with the Bills. He's a Hall of Famer. It's a pretty good list. There's a lot of street cred on that sidelines.
You know what? And Jackie Slater's an offensive line coach.
Right.
Played 20 years in the NFL.
Where's the love?
Priest Holmes is another running back coach. Arguably, for a stretch of time in the NFL, he was the best running back in the NFL.
Long field goal by Baggett, and that one is not going to get there.
What was nice is he didn't overhit it. Now, he struggled out here the other day. We saw him spraying a lot of balls. He looked like me golfing, but he's been solid here today, and he did not overhit it, which was good. Good technique. Stayed with it.
Take one more look, and that kick coming up just short. Quint is down on the field. Quint a little more breezy in the second half.
Yeah, it's actually getting a little chilly now. Temperatures maybe in the upper 50s.
Everybody watching on the East Coast.
You just irritated everybody in the Northeast.
Everybody on the East Coast is going to blow up,
including your wife, Quint. You just irritated your wife.
I think that's the typical evening here. I think the breeze just picks up as we get closer towards evening.
New quarterback now for Team American. It's Josh Woodrum out of Liberty. Flag on the play. Official's hat came off, so the receiver McCaffrey stepped out of bounds.
National playing 10-man defense right there.
Bold strategy.
Illegal touching. Offense number 87. The receiver was first to touch the pass after having gone out of bounds. 5-yard penalty. Replay, first down.
Woodrum, the quarterback, played for the Liberty Flames, 6'3". His head coach at Liberty, Turner Gill. This was a guy who was a 3-year captain, and he was arguably the best quarterback we saw in practice all week.
And Turner Gill's got some NFL credentials as a coach, Packers, Bills. And if you watch all the quarterbacks, he's the smoothest getting back in his drop. He's very on top of what he needs to do. He's fluent with his steps, and I think because of that NFL kind of coaching and offense that he played in, Coach, it's helped him this week.
You notice that AB started out from the line area, now he's a quarterback guru. He's a quarterback whisperer.
Let's go down to Kevin Weidel.
Yeah, guys, I think this is the most intriguing quarterback here this week. He's got good size, productive, 3-year captain. You're looking at a guy with tempo, rhythm. And he's been very decisive all week. The ability to get through his progressions, make quick decisions, get the ball out. I think he's been very accurate in the short to intermediate. He doesn't have the biggest arm, but a guy that can be in a West Coast principal system. Josh Woodrum, very intriguing. A lot of teams that I've spoke to, there's quite a big buzz about him potentially being a late round. It will be a highly sought out free agent should he last through the draft.
Offense number 72. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
What are we talking about, Kevin? 5th to 7th round in that range?
Yeah, certainly in that range at that point. Reminds me a lot of Sean Renfrey coming out of Duke a few years ago. Right now, the backup for Atlanta Falcons. Just a smart kid. He's going to be able to run an offense, come in. Talking with Coach Holmgren after Tuesday's practice, I asked him about him, what he is off the field. He said everything you want, been able to pick up the system quickly. I think this is a guy who can come in and potentially develop into a quality backup.
Where a quarterback, you've got to manage it down in distance here and know what's going on.
A lot of lateral movement that time by Darius Jackson. He ends up picking up 4.
And he's a big back. He's 221 pounds. And I would recommend just sticking your foot in the ground and getting up the field. Use that power, get ahead of his feet, get them shoulders to run through some of these players. That's what he's going to ask to do when he gets an opportunity at the next level. Chris
Creighton doing a good job there at Eastern, and Kalen DeBoer, their offensive coordinator. We actually had them against LSU this year, and they battled well, and he did a nice job there. And he's a versatile back. He can kind of do it all. He's got decent size, can catch the ball a little bit, will be a decent blocker, and obviously can run it.
On 3rd and long from the 38. Woodrum's pass tip caught by McCaffrey. There is a flag on the play. If it holds for the offense, it'll be a first down.
It's going to end up being PI, and Dante Dion is really cussing himself. He knew he had a chance of an interception. They may end up calling the pass interference on him, though. Again, though, McCaffrey, you see him staying with it. Ball gets tipped, and he's still, That's him, man. He never makes a mistake.
Defense number 52. A 5-yard penalty will be added at the end of the play. First down.
Penalty on Jatavis Brown out of Akron.
Yeah, he covers a lot of ground there. Got a seam route coming up. You see him banging. It actually was on the inside, but there you see Dante Dion knows.
He was running the route in front of the receiver. He's seen it all week. And I'll tell you, those are the things that he's done. We talk about guys doing it in practice and doing it in the game. Well, it's starting to be consistent for him, and that's what's going to stick out. We talked about his size and what he does, and Max McCaffrey, of course, a guy you can trust, runs the right routes, understands where to be, on time. I mean, just really a professional in everything he does.
Jim Lynn, the defensive coordinator here.
Penalties declined. Still first down.
Was really impressed with Dante's. He's got a lot of patience and good hands, good eyes, good discipline, really in control, really well coached. Coming out of college, really a polished player.
Jackson out of Eastern Michigan. And Anthony, you alluded to it earlier, a lot of lateral movement for a guy who should go north-south.
Well, really, he had the outside. He's got to hang on, and he's got to trust his speed there, and he stops on an outside perimeter play, tries to cut it up. There, he's just got to get outside and kind of roll with the play.
Down to Kevin Weidel.
Yeah, more on Dion from Boise State. Guys, 5'9", 155 pounds. That's going to be a concern for scouts with his size. But the guy he reminds me of a lot is Nickel Roby out of Buffalo, the nickel back out of USC, taken a few years ago. He's played very well. This guy's had a big week. He's got playmaking instincts, the ability to get his hands on football, and to finish. He's helped himself this week, and I think certainly he's going to catch a lot of the eyes. And they're going to go back and move him up the board a little bit.
Woodrum lost the ball on the exchange from center. Team National says they have it. Officials trying to sort through the carnage.
Looked like he was hunting a rattlesnake there when he was trying to go get it, too. He needs to get down there and mull that out.
You know what? Woodrum's got to get right down to the ground and get on top of that ball. He tried to pick it up.
Calvin Hurtaloo out of Miami emerged with the football from the pile. Team National gets the turnover. They've got the football.
Got to be in control of the quarterback position. Don't try to foul that football. Fall right on it. Lesson learned by the QB.
The StubHub Center in Carson, California, the site of the NFLPA Collegiate Bowl. Great event put on by the NFL's Players Association. 5th year they've done this. It's gotten better every year. The talent continues to get upgraded. Last year, 70 players of the 113 who attended signed free agent contracts. Another 10 were drafted. Team National with the football. Travis Scream taken down at the 47. And once again, we say hello to Quint.
Ahmad Nassar is the president of the NFL Players Inc., one of our hosts, one of our wonderful hosts this week. Ahmad, why is this game important for the NFLPA?
Well, this game really hits on 3 of our main core issues as a union. So we approach it from a physical standpoint, and obviously everything incorporated into the game itself. We have an educational component to really teach them about the business of football off the field, and then the business itself, and just teaching them about entering into sports business and being a professional.
It's a radical change from being a college senior. Nice completion over the middle. Ricardo Lewis of Auburn. A huge change for these young men, potentially. How do you help them manage that change?
Well, during the week, we really view it as an orientation. So today's game is really the culmination of a full week of events and teaching the players, giving them the opportunity to work with Hall of Fame coaches and to learn from those guys and to meet with scouts and to talk to different team officials and folks who may be their teammates in the NFL and just to really show them the resources that we have at the NFLPA and NFL Players Inc.
Thank you.
Anthony, what was your first moment when you realized, man, this is a business?
Well, I mean, listen, I think when you come in from college and you're the guy and everything's good, and then you come in, you're playing with grown men now. These guys are trying to put food on the table. Some of these guys are going to try to play special teams. Well, you know what? You're going to try to take a job from the guy that's been playing in the league for 5 or 6 years at only special teams. So they're going to get in there, and they got to understand being a professional not going to be just about just getting there. It's how they really cater themselves on and off the field, and that'll be the biggest adjustment for these guys. Handling money, handling agents, and those are the great things that the NFLPA game brings, because like he was talking about, they have these seminars, they have some universities where it's helping these guys, nurturing these guys, and you know what? Knowledge is power, Coach, and that's what these kids need to get.
Ammon Olsen doing a nice job in here distributing the football. Look at Green, just bam, bam. He looks a little bit like you, AB, back in the day when you could really just, put your foot in the ground and make people miss. But Ammon Olsen, little sting on that last ball thrown to the tight end. You were over here filibustering, so you missed the tight end catch, but he's doing a nice job on this drive.
I'll tell you what, Travis Green, Bowling Green's all-time leading rusher, he's had a nice little afternoon. Nice little Saturday.
He's really showed. He really has. He's got some explosiveness, dynamic, really outstanding vision. Of course, catching the ball right there can do a lot of things for your club.
We'll get the call once again. Nowhere to go. Right in the middle, plugging that hole, Antoine Woods out of USC.
He does a nice job when it comes right at him. He's a big, strong force. Doesn't really get off those blocks and make plays kind of out in that outside BC gap area, but if you're trying to get something done in those A gaps, he's going to cause a problem.
He's got a lot of explosiveness in his initial move off the line of scrimmage. That's phone booth football. When you're an inside guy going against centers and tackles, you got to win in a short amount of space. The biggest knock on him really throughout his playing is playing a complete game, giving it to you on all 60 snaps of a football game.
Olsen being chased, and that pass a little behind his target. Back down to Quint.
Nickel offensive package. Coach Mark's calling the player. Coach, what are your options now, 3rd and 11?
Well, it depends on if they're man or zone. If they're zone, we'll take a shot. If it's man, we'll probably work it down to a back one-on-one on the backer.
When you say take a shot, let's listen to this little conversation here. Head coach and quarterback.
All right, so you got H fake cross. You're going to have the fake cross.
Okay.
Otherwise, you got to get it up quick on 5 set to one of the seams, okay? Double right gone right.
Or H fake cross.
You got it? Yep. Okay. You're probably going to get man to man. Take 5 and work it in there so you can buy yourself a little time to get the fake cross, okay?
If it's press man, like the outside.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
You all right with that?
Yep. Dang.
You all right?
Should have worn a mouthpiece.
I wouldn't worry about it now.
So double right gone
Player
right
safety, coach. Come on.
H fake cross.
Yeah, I'm thinking, let's do this. Let's not do that. Let's go twins left, ace left, seam. You get zone, you might get that tight end. Now, if the safety stays low, get the seam.
Okay.
If it's man, just throw X.
Go!
Player down, it's Tupou. We'll step aside. 3rd down and 12 for Team National. And Ashraf, Anthony Beck, Dan Hawkins. Anthony, what are we going to see here?
Well, you got a seam route here, and this is going to be the tight end, Bo Sandland. Okay, he's going to try to affect across the field and get in this window in front of the safety in the middle of the field. See if he can get protection and Ammon can get a ball over the top.
It's nice when you know it's single safety. You can always get that 4 vertical package rolling.
Olsen in trouble, stumbles, and he's taken down. Sacked that time by Reggie Gilbert from Arizona, who's had a nice afternoon.
Got to get in the habit of finding his back, man. You don't like that back foot hits, ball's not gone, find your back.
And Bo Sandland's got to understand that when he has a defender over him, a linebacker, you've got to be quick, make a move, and get by him. Right here, you got to have a plan. And I worked with some of the tight ends earlier this week, and I told them there's going to be somebody that tries to affect your route in the NFL. You got to have a plan at the line of scrimmage and get ready for whatever's brought your way.
So Andrew Baggett called on again. He's hit 3 out of 4, make it 4 out of 5. Baggett is now hit from 39. He's hit 2 from 42. He's hit 1 from 50. He's accounted for all of Team National scoring. Back here in Southern California, there is no way that's live. I know it's warmer here on the West Coast. That has to be B-roll.
Hey, you got to take advantage of the
stock footage, right?
Don't spoil them. Everybody in the East Coast is really upset at this shot right now.
I know. They're cooped in. They've got to listen to us. They've got to see pictures of the beach.
It's a huge beach, by the way. That's a lot of walking. Kind of like to be right there.
I saw you out there on the board this morning getting it done, AB.
Paddleboard and get that core going.
Jadon Mickens out of the University of Washington. He's got a touchdown in this game and takes it out of bounds at the 32-yard line. A couple of good ones on Big Monday. Duke finally able to snap that 3-game losing streak today against NC State. Monday, the Blue Devils in Coral Gables. Kansas will visit Iowa State. Cyclones this past Monday able to knock off #1 Oklahoma at Hilton Coliseum.
Another box gets checked off of Jaden Mickens. A return guy now, right? Special teams. That's something he'll have to excel in. Really nice return, good blocking up front. Again, he's showing you a lot today.
And
important.
Did you notice who tackled him? Jatavis Brown.
Woodrum's pass is caught by Jordan Williams. Broken tackle. And he's able to take that and turn it into a big gain. That's Gil Haskell, offensive coordinator for Team American.
Yes.
Simple hitch route outside there. Kalen Reed missing the tackle. One of the things these guys don't tackle much in this deal and haven't tackled since the season.
Not yet.
Haskell, a longtime Holmgren lieutenant.
Tiger personnel, 2 tight ends in the game.
Play action. Check down. That's Josh Perkins out of UW, 6'4".
We're gonna go a zebra, fullback 40.
Zebra!
Yeah, and both of these tight ends have been exceptional pass catchers this week. Talked about Joshua Perkins being an undersized guy, but it reminds me a little bit about like Tim Wright, former Rutgers tight end. Undersized guy, works the slot. He's going to have to find a niche, and catching the ball and running after the catch will be something he'll have to stand and continue to do.
Josh Perkins comes in at 226. He hasn't been afraid to put his face in there. He'll work in there. He just doesn't have enough junk in the trunk right now to hold up, but he's trying.
The Kardashians aren't far away. There's Green up the middle.
There's my man Tyler Cooter, number 95, Idaho State product. Big
zebra
motor.
40, zebra 40, zebra 40.
3rd and 3, Coach. What do you got? What's zebra 40?
Zebra's running across.
Who's the target?
40, zebra man.
He's got to steal that play sheet so we can get the what these numbers translate. Just tell him to peek over his shoulder down there, and he can look at that number real quick.
I think he's got a dig route coming in right here to Fuller, I think, if I understand his terminology. Then everybody else needs to know what they got off of that.
Edge pressure, Landrum steps up, ball is stripped and recovered by Team National.
I think Fuller converted that. He got press coverage and he converted it.
Well, that's 2 ball handling issues now by Woodrum. One was a bad snap where he didn't fall down. And again, the defensive end does a nice job coming up the field, making a play here. Number 98, Dora.
That's tough. He had good ball carriage the whole way. He was just trying to throw it. Just got to have a little bit pocket awareness. That is great effort getting the ball out.
That's now 2 fumbles by Woodrum.
And Vontarius Door 6'3", a little bit undersized, but you see that speed, and that's something he'll have to continue to show. Speed off the edge, be a pass rusher that can take advantage of those bigger ends.
Olsen's going to take a shot in traffic, and he's got Dom Williams.
Yeah, baby. Little jab pass, good play action, good hand fake. Throwing that ball over the backer, driving it into the hole. That was a big-time throw. Evan Olsen's done a nice job. Watch him here, play fake. Dig rock coming from your left-hand side, throwing it over the backer, under the safety. That is a big-time throw.
Ball placement for sure. And again, nice zip on the football there. And then
Good feet,
one
good
play
play.
behind on the dig route. You called it right there.
Olsen 5 out of 8, back to throw, steps up again, and that is incomplete. That pass broken up by Richard Leonard out of FIU, a first-team All-Conference USA corner.
He's proven his smarts, though. You got to find 1 or 2 guys in these all-star games, work the heck out of him and trust him, and he's your go-to guy.
And remember, only one defense. So in your mind, when you're knowing what the guys are doing on those plays, you got to have a little bit of a visual on how you want to get the ball, especially when you don't have much time and you got guys that are pass rushing. The red zone's been an issue right now. They're getting close to it. They got to find ways to press it down and make some plays.
On the draw, it's Wright, the running back from Stanford, following his blockers, breaks the tackle, and finally driven out at the 10-yard line by Adro Ederaine out of Fresno State, but a gain of 18 for Ramond Wright.
A late add to this roster. He stepped in here late, done a nice job, kind of a compact runner. Does a lot of things well, good vision.
Just following his blockers, nice stiff arm there, showing you a little bit about what he can do. Didn't see much of him because, of course, Christian McCaffrey was such a great player at Stanford this season.
Well, and as you said with the red area issues here, you get down here, you just got to slam it. You got to have a good power running attack going.
Green. And he's to the 8, short gain. That'll take us to the end of the third quarter. Team National has not led in this game, but they'll have second and goal inside the 10 when the fourth quarter begins.
Next level is meant to be. We showcases real talent. Step up, got a real challenge in front of us. Come run with us. You serious? Then huddle up. That PAB.
Welcome back. They're back in the red zone now, and this is a play. It's gone right, flood. They're going to try to get a underneath. If you hold it right there, they're going to get the outside receiver to come across. They're going to get the tight end out coming inside, and then the angle route by the fullback, or the fullback in the backfield.
And swing by the tailback here.
There's the pass to the tailback, right, incomplete.
And the fullback came wide open on that angle route. If you just hold on for a second and let everybody clear out, he would have had Scove, number 37, sitting right over the middle.
Yeah, just a little bit antsy. Coach had told him to check the Texas route to Scove to the swing, and I think he just got on the swing early there. Anytime you throw the back, you got to put it right on the numbers. You got to put it right on them.
Scove, the younger brother of former Stanford standout Shane Scove. Patrick began his career at Stanford, then transferred to Georgia Tech.
Scove went to Stanford, then Georgia Tech. That means his SAT was twice what mine was.
A little shovel pass. That was dangerous to Wright, who takes it to the 5-yard line, where he's tackled by Greg Milhouse from FCS Campbell.
Pretty conservative play.
Worked for Larry Fitzgerald last week.
It's a little closer in that game, but a little conservative by Martz on that.
Well, here we go. It's Baggett again, Dan.
MVP, the kicker, is going to run away with the trophy today.
Is he your clubhouse leader for game MVP right now?
Sure.
Well, this is the easiest one he's had. It's from 24. He's already made 4. 6th attempt. High snap. And Baggett drills it through.
I was going to say the Vikings may be interested in him, but that would have been brutal.
got the ball. Let's go. Yeah, let's do it.
Stay on your blocks. Finish it now. Let's go.
12. Come on, 2-9. Come on, 2-9.
Okay, now you worked hard to get down here. Let's finish it, okay? Sir. Finish it. Good job,
Coach.
Yeah.
J-Don celebrating.
Good call,
Good job.
Success.
We appreciate all the coaches wearing microphones. It's given us tremendous access. We also want to thank the 5-second delay. I don't think we've had any of those moments so far today. So, of course of a football game, sometimes things are said in the heat of the moment. Happens, what, once or twice, right?
Of course.
NFC and AFC Conference Championships tomorrow. ESPN gets you set with NFL Insiders at noon. At 1 p.m., it's the Countdown Crew previewing Patriots, Broncos, and Cardinals, Panthers. And then at 10, prime time with a complete recap of everything that went on in Denver and Charlotte. Travis Wilson back at quarterback now for Team American. Wilson from Utah began the game for Mike Holmgren's squad.
Nice to see kind of a tight game here at the end. And put a little something on it. All these guys can show up and show what they're about in pressure situation.
That was Presley, and he was wrapped up by Jatavis Brown, who did not fall for the fake.
Yeah, boy, Jatavis Brown, he's done a nice job today, showing up in a lot of different areas.
And Kevin White was talking this week during our coverage that some scouts said he reminded him of Stephen Tulloch, former linebacker, smaller inside linebacker, made a lot of plays in the NFL, Detroit Lions. You know, he's a player that kind of reminds me of him also. Just a guy that's always in the right spot, heady, understands where to be, can read guards pulling, be where he needs to be to make plays.
Brown is 52 in black in coverage here as Wilson escapes. He is driven out of bounds as Team National closed off that angle quickly.
That's where Travis Wilson's got to have a little pocket presence. He had some room in there. He just got back to the top of his drop, and then he just bailed. And his protection wasn't bad. Watch from the back end here. He's doing okay. Look at, he runs to the pressure. Sit in there, shuffle up, find your check down. Now again, he's such a great athlete. He's used to doing that, but man, at the next level here, you've got to be able to feel that, feel the pocket, step up in there, deliver the ball, or find your check down.
It's a hard habit to break because in the college game, he's probably able to make something out of that more times than not.
Yeah, he's had so much success doing it. That's his go-to move. There you go again. See?
Ran into his own man. Cragen will dive on the loose football. And that's now 3 turnovers in the second half from the quarterback for Team American.
Coach, I see you shaking your head, so I'm going to let you take this one when we bring the replay back. And Mike Holmgren is not happy right now. And listen, ball protection, no matter what you do as a quarterback, you better secure and hold that football.
He bailed out again. He bailed out early. He's got to sit in there, okay, and deliver the football. And then your ball carriage, and you just can't make something, try to make something out of nothing. And yeah, everybody hates the term, oh, he's a game manager, he's a game manager. You know this, coaches will take game managers. You know, get yourself in the right play. Don't turn it over. Don't take sacks. Be productive.
6'7". He's got big hands. He's just got to protect that football. When guys start swarming in, listen, they're not going to just try to tackle him. They're going to swat at the football. Nice job by the defense.
On right. And he's to the 5-yard line. 2nd and goal. Team National is yet to punch it in for a touchdown. 5 field goals from Missouri's Andrew Baggett accounting for the scoring.
Getting the running game going a little bit. I'd like to see him, he had good patience, but I'd like to see him bounce that outside. A little patience and bounce that outside with his vision.
Regular.
Regular 2 backs, 1 tight end, and Scove is the only fullback, so if it's regular, he knows he's it.
Slot! God almighty.
And this is a perfect example. End of the game, get dialed in as a player. Nowhere to be, nowhere to line up.
This is right. Looking to change directions, no room.
Listen, this American defense has been stout the entire game. They've secured the defense in the red zone. Now on a turnover, you got all 11 guys swarming to the ball. There's number 96, Greg Millhouse. He's out of Campbell, small school. I know you know the mascot of Campbell, Coach.
The Camels.
Here's a guy transferred from Appalachian State, basically dominated at the FCS level, and has been a guy that really has opened some eyes this week during the practices.
So now 3rd and goal, 3 receivers set, lined up to the top of your screen. That's 81, Bryce Treggs out of Cal. Olsen looking that way, throws it up for Treggs, and it's knocked away. Prince Charles Owora has played a terrific game in that secondary.
Good eyes, good hands placement. That was a great throw right to the back corner of the end zone.
I know they can. I know they can.
I really like Owora, and during the week in practice, he wasn't a guy that really stood out. Coach Green was talking about guys that weren't really showing out. But in this football game today, Coach, he's made some nice plays. He had a ball down the sidelines early on, knocked it away, got his head around, and again, I'd like to get his head around, but he read the eyes of the receiver. Once his arms and head went up, he shoots his hands up, knocks it down. Good job. This kid's going to open some eyes, as we get closer to the draft.
4 picks for Western Kentucky, and guess what? Baggett does it again. His 6th field goal. He's 6 out of 7 on field goals. It's pretty good.
Good for him.
He might be the clubhouse leader for MVP right now. Here are the dates you have to know as college prospects get ready for the NFL Draft. The Senior Bowl next week. You can watch the practices Wednesday and Thursday on ESPNU. Then you've got the NFL Scouting Combine. That is late February in Indianapolis. And it all leads up to the NFL Draft, April 28th through the 30th this year in Chicago. Standing next to Anthony Becht, who was a first-round pick. What do you remember about hearing your name called?
I got the greatest story ever. This has never happened to anybody from what I've been told in the history of the draft, but usually guys get calls on their cell phones or pagers on their beepers. Back when I came out in 2000, well, I didn't get a call, and I didn't know when I was going to come up, and Tagliabue comes up to the stage, and we're all kind of down because we thought maybe the Jets would take me at 27. No phone call. The phone doesn't ring. And all of a sudden he goes up there and it says, with the 27th pick, the New York Jets select Anthony Becht, tight end of West Virginia. It was a huge eruption. We had this big tent, 60 people, and it was the best feeling ever. And I got a phone call immediately after my name was picked. And my agent and Parcells was on the line, the GM at the time, Al Groh. They're like, did you like that one? I said, well, it was nice and exciting, but I would have liked to gotten a call before just to get a little pre-feeling about it. But it was a pretty unique experience.
Now, I got to ask, what was the reaction from the Jets fans?
Well, there was some tight ends now that had gotten drafted in the past, the Mitchells, the Braids. There was just some boos, but I was the 4th of 4 first-round draft picks, so there wasn't a lot of pressure because we'd already gotten 3 really good players. We had 5 guys in my draft class that played 10-plus years: Sean Ellis, John Abraham, Chad Pennington, myself, and Lavernius Coles. 5 guys. Wow. That was a pretty good draft by Bill Parcells.
And you know what? You know what's a win? He didn't end up on the Jets draft montage that runs every year. You didn't end up on that. You don't want to end up on that.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I loved my career there. It was a fantastic run, and listen, we did some real productive things with some really key players.
We got the Senior Bowl coming up next week. Of course, similar type things here, but just share with the fans a little bit what you were sharing me before the game, AB, just about your mindset and what you did to Senior Bowl and how that went for you.
Well, when I came out from college, I was kind of a second-round, early third-round projection from my last game at West Virginia. And I got the opportunity to go to the Senior Bowl, and to me, it was a 100% business trip, just like this NFLPA game. I didn't make any friends. I knew I had to win my one-on-one battles, and there were some great linebackers there: Keith Bullock, Brandon Short, Julian Peterson. I had one-on-one opportunities to show physicality, to show fight at the line of scrimmage, and I knew that blocking and being physical and being tough was going to be something that was going to be heavily evaluated. I could remember Bill Cowher and some of these great coaches right behind behind my drill, and I was like, I got to do something. Now, I don't want to start a fight, but you got to do something to catch the eyes of these guys so they can write your name down. I've been preaching this to these kids all week. You got to go out and do something that's going to say, wow, I got to write that down. Where it's finish, you're getting a guy to the ground because of a great technique you brought to the table. All those things were important, and that elevated me into the combine. I did well at the combine, and then my pro day was another step that secured me into the first round. And again, it's just like these kids. There is a process. This is the second quarter. The practices are the second quarter. Then a potential combine if they get back. And you know what? There's going to be two or three of these kids, Coach, that might get a chance to play in the Senior Bowl next week just because guys get hurt and they need to fill some spots. So you want to show out in a game like this.
Nice catch there by Perkins. And it's enough to move the chains.
Josh Perkins out of Washington, a great receiver, definitely a vertical guy, definitely can do all that. It's how does he fit in as a receiver? Can he put on some weight and be a tight end? How can he contribute in special teams? But definitely a solid receiver. This is where Travis Wilson's at his best. He's used to getting out of the pocket, very smooth, throwing the ball on the run, but sometimes he... There you go.
Martez Waller blown up right away by Jatavis Brown. It's an incomplete pass.
Rolling on the field is incomplete pass, second down.
But chalk that up. That's another time we call Brown's name.
And I just said it. What are you going to do to make an impression on some of these scouts and some of these GMs? And right there, we've been talking about this kid all day. He's been doing it every day in practice. That's an NFL hit on the sidelines.
Terry Bowden with the zips this year. Nice job.
Down to Kevin Weidel from Scouts Inc.
Yeah, Jatavis Brown, guys, you know what he reminds me of? Darren Bates from the St. Louis Rams, a kid that came out of Auburn. This is a guy that probably played 20 snaps around defense, but is a special team standout, explosiveness, range. And guys, Bates, the team captain for the Rams. Brown has that type of intangibles. He was a captain at Akron. The coaches had highly praised him coming out of there.
Did you see that play? Did you see that play, Kevin?
Explosive. Big-time explosiveness. Hawk.
Holy cow. He came all the way across the field
and
making that play.
You see it on his tape. I called their bowl game out in Boise State against Utah State. And I'll tell you what, he was impressive. He's a guy came off the edge, strip sack. He set the single-season school record with 12 sacks. Oh, by the way, that was set by Jason Taylor, a guy you might know, defensive end there. Yeah. This guy's all over the field when you turn on the tape. The only thing holding him back right now, scouts will be a little wary about, is the size. But let me tell you something, this guy can play.
Corners are pressing. It's not red zone. Travis Wilson wasn't ready. Dropped it again.
Able to recover this time. Ball security has been an issue for Team American in the second half.
All you young guys out there are young quarterbacks. That's where all these little things. Look at Coach Holmgren. That's where the little things comes up. Coaches keep talking about ball carriage and keep it up and keep both hands on it. And you're thinking, yeah, it's all about the throw. Well, you lay the ball down there like that, it's coming out.
Coach, it's a three-step drop. All right, if you don't have your first option, you got to be able to check it down or get it out. He tries to turn the other way, and right there, if a guy, a tackle or guard's jumping the defender in protection, you're not going to have time to turn around and look the other side.
Well, they were pressing out here. I don't think he was expecting press.
The rules, right?
Yeah, he thought, oh, we got a penalty flag.
We got a penalty. Dion lets this bounce into the end zone. By the way, it was Destiny Vio out of Washington State who forced the fumble. .6:51 to go here in the fourth quarter. 1 point game.
There was my Australian punter, Lachlan Edwards. I was expecting to lay that thing down in there, not get it into the end zone.
You were just down there in Australia. What are they doing where they're turning out all these college kickers?
They all play Aussie rules ball, which, you know,
the kick, holding, receiving team number 80, 10-yard penalty, first down.
Yeah, that's a lot of times what will happen if the kicker's going to let it go, they put their arms out so everybody else knows not to do something. But down in Australia, they all play Aussie rules football. They grow up, that's kind of their national sport. But so they kick it with both feet. They can run, they can catch. It's very natural to them. And then they're used to kicking it different styles. And these guys, they can't pass it, so they kick it. So they're very good about directionally kicking the ball and controlling the ball. They do it from the time they're little. Of course, Darren Bennett with the Chargers came over here. gee whiz, probably 20 years ago, he was maybe one of the first guys that came over and really kind of started getting the technique down.
Nothing doing for Travis Green. He lost a yard. We got a Bowling Green backfield in there with the quarterback Matt Johnson back in. And Green, who had 1,300 yards as a senior, actually had almost 1,600 as a sophomore, a school record.
This American defense has been stout. Antoine Woods is back in the game in the middle. Obviously, March is going to try to run the ball a little bit, protect his lead, get it close so he can throw a short, productive pass, but nice stop to get him behind the sticks.
This is Green once again, bounces to the outside, stiff arm, flag on the play, and then finally shouldered out of bounds by the hard-hitting Will Parks. Flag down at the 11, a gain of 14 if it stands.
That was a stiff arm right there, Coach. Holy
Breaking
smokes.
it out, a little old school. I like it.
Holding. Offense number 86. Half the distance to the goal, 2nd down.
Tight end to J.P. Holtz.
That was your tight end, AB. Get your hands inside.
I need to see a replay. That's not what I taught if his hands weren't inside. And J.P. Holtz is a guy at Pittsburgh, jack of all trades.
You're either coaching it or you're allowing it to happen. One or the other. Which is it?
I only had 2 days with him. And then after that, he was out of my hands. So I'm sure he went back to his bed.
Complain, and explain.
Yeah, he's right here on the outside on the defensive end. Let's see where he puts his hands. They're inside right now. He probably
not that left hand.
Well, here's the thing. You know, when you get him inside, it's you drive block him, and then you got to kind of get your body outside and torque him. He never swings his body around when the back is coming outside, and if the defender's trying to release and you're holding on, they're going to call that all day.
Green's got some room on 2nd and 15 and gets to the 15-yard line. So 3rd down coming up for Team National.
Green's showing up in this game. He can put his foot in the ground. He's a one-cut guy. Good vision. He very seldom makes the wrong read. Really doing a nice job tonight.
Hawk, you worry about a guy like him maybe having a little too much tread on his tires by the time he gets to the pros?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, a lot of guys now are starting to spread it around. It's hard to have a one-pony show anymore and using a few more backs in your arsenal. But I think there's a place for him, and maybe he's a 3rd down guy that's a screen guy and can get it out in there.
Another check down. This is to right, and he's going to lose yardage. First one to get there was 44, Landon Roberts, who had 132 tackles for Houston.
I'm sure, I don't know how many Houston games you guys had. We've had them over the years. They are an attacking defense. This is one of their leaders. They do a great job in turnovers there, but they will just get after you. He caused the first turnover in the game, tipping the ball, but he's been in and around the ball as well a bunch tonight.
Well, there's the punter from Anthony Beck's alma mater, Nick O'Toole, nicknamed Boomstache because of the facial hair, but the facial hair was gone this week. What happened?
I was one of the few guys from West Virginia that did not grow the facial hair when I was a player. Kept it clean cut, but he needs to have a big punt here.
That is a clean-shaven Nick O'Toole. But look at the profile picture we have for him. I mean, that is full boom stash. It actually started with the stash, and there seemed to be an inverse relationship with the hair below his lips and on top of his head as his career progressed.
He wants to be the Mountaineer. He's living it up a little bit.
He needs a little more hang time on that punt, so I'm suggesting he grows the beard back. Some kind of an Adonis thing working there.
Samson, right?
Took his strength away.
Boy.
Sherrod Niesman here coming up a little bit gimpy, 24.
Great story. Niesman, a kid who walked on to FAU, had 0 Division I offers coming out of high school, so he worked a couple of jobs to pay his way through school, did the 3 a.m. shift at FedEx, and eventually was elected captain and now chasing the dream.
Well, if you want an opportunity to finish the game and do something good, Stephen Rivers has played better than any quarterback today. 6-9. He gets a chance now to get this team potentially in field goal range.
Short field. That is hauled in by Mike Thomas.
In on the
Actually,
tackle.
That's Jordan Williams. That's Jatavis Brown.
Exactly. Just say it. Don't even look. Just Yeah, again, when you play off coverage, you pretty much know you've got the hitch and the slant almost every time.
And again, hopefully he's learning on the sidelines, not to put the ball in a dangerous situation where he can get stripped. Make sure you get this snap out of center and have a plan at the line of scrimmage. See what the defense is giving you and be quick with your decisions, not making mistakes.
Rivers will dump it off to his back, Jackson. Jackson out of Eastern Michigan, able to pick up 8 yards.
Dante Dion doing a nice job getting off the block. Didn't quite make the tackle, but disrupted the play and kept it from really developing early.
So 1st and 10 now.
Dante Dion's been playing nickel, which is the guy that normally lines up on the inside slot. I don't know that that's his spot at the next level, because teams will run the ball a little bit more in there. I mean, he may not be the guy you want inside on the slot, but he's tough enough.
Jackson gets a block from his fullback, springs him to the outside. And Darius Jackson across the 30, a flag back at the 33.
They're going to get a hold on the edge here.
Holding. Offense, number 78. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Clay DeBoard from Eastern Washington. That's the school with the red turf.
The Inferno.
Yeah, he's on the outside. Big guy. The stretch play is going to reach the outside shoulder. He's got to run his feet. If he keeps running his feet, the defender never gets off the top. Again, when that color starts showing, you got to let go. You got to drive your feet as a tackle, and the tight end did the same thing. Run through the outside shoulder, coach, and continue to go. Even though you don't feel the defender going, well played by the defensive end, Malu.
Yeah, Kamar's done a nice job this week as well. He really showed up in practice Thursday.
Jackson cannot hold on. Guess who closed?
Watch out.
Jatavis Brown.
He's putting together a little highlight tape for us right now in this 4th quarter.
Yeah, you get out there outside, you better get your head on a swivel, because 5-2 is coming.
Hey, there's guys, linebackers, that go and make plays, make the tackles. He shows up and splashes and explodes to the football, man. I mean, he's like a heat-seeking missile, and that's what the next level is all about, man. You got to get there fast with aggression. You got big running backs in the NFL. He's going to be a player, I think, that's going to have a huge opportunity at the next level.
Rivers hands it off. And that gets Team American to the 40-yard line. Not much, a gain of about 2.
Field goal team alert. Might have a long shot here.
I was just going to ask you, could this be maybe 4-down territory? You try to get half of it back? Or is this just trying to get into field goal range?
I think you're smart here. You're throwing an underneath route, and if you got a chance to run, you might have a shallow cross route working, and then something outside. And if you got zone, you throw outside. If not, you got a shallow cross.
Got a big receiver on the bottom, number 88, 6'3", throw to his body.
Prior to the snap, that's a 2-minute warning. Timeout.
We step aside, 3rd and 18 on the other side.
Right here, it's a red back. Let's go.
Nightfall in Los Angeles, the NFLPA Collegiate Bowl coming down to the wire. Team National with a 1-point lead. Team American with the football, 2 minutes to go. 3rd and 18. What's the play, Anthony?
It's 22 Hank. They're going to try to get it to the tight end if he's wide open 6 yards over the ball, or he's going to have 2 curl routes on the outside at 10 yards. Try to put it on their body.
Steven Rivers looking for his fullback, who was not looking at the ball. And it's 4th down from the 41-yard line.
Let's go. We're going for it.
Well, you heard it there. Mike Holmgren says they're going for it.
And you know, the tight end Dorm is, or excuse me, the fullback Dorm is going to be upset because he didn't run his route as if he was going to be the #1 receiver. You're never going to know.
Now, come on, pull the trigger.
He's saying pull the trigger because the curls were open and the tight end were open. and he decided to check it down. So again, now he's got to get this 18 yards, which is going to be tough. I'd say give it to your bottom guy on the bottom of the screen, number 88, Lambert. He's 6'3", 220 pounds. You got to throw it to your biggest receiver.
Rivers steps up, downfield, in traffic, incomplete, no flag. Devin Fuller well covered by New Mexico State's Winston Rose.
Oh, come on.
Oh, I'm letting them play football. He can't make it yet.
Oh, you heard that.
That was horrible.
He's looking for a flag. But no, American team's got 3 timeouts, so they're going to have a chance here if they play defense. They've been playing pretty well right now. But again, 4th and 18, not the ideal situation. They basically run a similar play to the outside, try to hook it up at the sticks, and it's well covered and defended.
Great job by Rivers, hitching it up into the pocket. Doesn't get a ton on him. He actually has he had a chance, yeah. You know, one of the things is this is a natural surface, grass, which a lot of these guys are used to playing on turf. And even during the practices, you'd see this really expose your footwork as a receiver. You don't get your shoulders over your toes. You know, you don't have the same kind of footing.
This is Travis Green. He B-buttons his way to the 43-yard line. Timeout by Mike Holmgren to stop the clock with 1:42 to go. The team that Holmgren coaches is down by a point. Trevon Boykin, by the way, back in at quarterback for Team National. Wednesday, 7:30 Eastern on ESPN2. It is the draft for the Pro Bowl. Jerry Rice and Michael Irvin will pick the teams. And then at 7 Eastern on ESPN Sunday, January 31st, the Pro Bowl presented by USAA. Some of the Pro Bowlers this year at cornerbacks, and these were late-round draft picks or undrafted players. Josh Norman, arguably the best DB in football right now out of Coastal Carolina.
Super Bowl winner right there.
Yeah, and you know what?
And Richard Sherman.
3 of the 4 guys are playing this week. How about that? They're all there, and you know the Seahawks would have had a chance. He played last week, so all those guys, low-round draft picks, had a little chip on their shoulder initially, like some of these guys coming into this game, proved something at the next level, and got it done.
This is the fullback. Dan Hawkins likes the call as Scove gets close to midfield. Another timeout to stop the clock by Team American. So 3rd down for Team National as we go down to Kevin Weidel.
Yeah, we're talking about Josh Norman, guys. When he was at his All-Star game, the East-West game, throughout the week, we talk about Dante Dayon from Boise making plays. He made tons of plays, probably I would say 8 or 9 interceptions, I think, throughout the week. Really, really impressive in terms of ball skills, anticipation. Really made a name for himself. The knock on him coming out was a little bit of character concerns with him. I think that's why that dropped to the 5th round. A little immaturity. You see him maturing. The talent's always been there. Now you're seeing him maturing and really hitting his upside.
Right on 3rd and 3. And he's got nowhere to go. Right at the line of scrimmage. Tackled by Jesse Hayes out of Wisconsin. And Team American gets the stop it needed.
Jesse Hayes, 41 for Wisconsin, has really played well, I think, this week. He's got a little bit of flexibility in what he could do. I think he could probably be an outside guy in a 3-4 scheme, and I think he's probably got the skills it takes to play a will in a 4-3 scheme as well.
His dad, Jay Hayes, coach for defensive line coach for the Bengals, and I kind of want this, guys. You know, here you go, Steven Rivers or whatever quarterback. You got a chance here. No timeouts. This is a real NFL situation. A lot of games are close week in and week out with the parity in the NFL. You got a chance right now to lead your team down. The thing you got to be thorough and clean on is the no-huddle offense. You only go over it, walk through it yesterday, try to be clean, try to get some plays where you got to be in the right spots, and he's going to get a chance now to come on the field and try to get another opportunity to get themselves closer to a field goal.
No timeouts for Team American as Mackinton Dorleant out of Northern Iowa fields this punt. There is a flag, and that's going to be a block in the back against Team American. So they'll start deep in their own zone with no timeouts.
Yeah, that's going to be on Theus, the long snapper, and you don't want to get your name called too much at that position, but it is a crucial one. He's a 4-year starter, snapped every single ball at Georgia. Tried to set up a little bit of a return there and just caught him in the back.
During the return, illegal block in the back. Receiving team number 58. Half the distance to the goal. First down, American.
Well, I saw 2 of them. So 58 or 50.
Right in here.
Yeah, right in the middle. I'm sorry. Caught it on 50. It's 50. It is 58. There you go. Hits the long snapper.
That would be a famous name. Ian Seau. Well, actually, Ian would be on the other team. There we go. Mike Tavares there.
So Stephen Rivers, the quarterback, on this drive for Team American, slings it on first down. And that is caught by Mikhail McKay, 6'5" wideout from Cincinnati, a gain of 8.
Receivers got to be smart. Good job by Mikhail McKay catching it, turning outside, and getting out of bounds. This is a good opportunity for these receivers here to show their being smart as players. Right there, first time catching a ball today, does a nice job.
Well, the nice thing is if they stick to the rules and play off coverage, you should have the hitch every time.
Quarterbacks got to understand, too, to get up the line and spike it if they get first downs, that clock's going to run, unlike college.
Rivers under pressure. Now he's going to have to go. He picks up a first down, but again, not college, clock runs.
Yeah, that's a costly, that is a costly play.
Then they got to get up on the line here.
They're taking a lot of time. They're huddling.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. They don't have signals. Usually they have things on the outside. I would have just spiked it on first down. I know you're killing a play, but at the same token, you're losing valuable seconds.
A lot of time ticking off the clock. Over the middle. Team National gave them the middle of the field. Jacoby Green with a first down.
You got to spike it. You have to spike it regardless if they didn't get the first or not. You got to stop the clock here. Let's get fast. Just get lined up.
You got to know, too, no timeouts. The opposition wants you to use the middle of the field. Don't you have to find something to the sideline?
They're going to give you the perception of it being open, and that's what they do. They lure you in.
Gilbert, you got to throw it. Where do you got?
I know. I got a screen here. I got a screen.
Screen.
Career long 51 yards.
25 seconds left
for Team American's kicker, Zach Maddox.
Holgram saying, what, a screen? What are we running a screen for? Give me the play sheet.
25 seconds and ticking. Well, there's the screen, and it's blown up by Jatavis Brown again.
Zebra 41.
They usually call that on that play the rat. Somebody's going to block the rat, and nobody's blocking the rat.
Can they get another playoff? 5 seconds, 4 seconds, 3 seconds. Here we go. Rivers under duress. He's just going to pitch it backwards, and that's the ball game. Team National hangs on for an 18-17 win. Jatavis Brown was a stud for the boys in black.
Probably the best fourth quarter I've seen by a linebacker in an all-star game. Just completely took this game over.
We hope you enjoyed the 5th annual NFLPA Collegiate Bowl for Anthony Beck, Dan Hawkins, Kevin Weidel, and Quint Keshnick. I'm Anish Schropp. Team National wins by 1. We go from SoCal to Oz. It's Melbourne and the